So for this video, we're going to cover the basic if statement. I actually want to go over a real world example though. So we're going to start to imagine how you could use computer code to solve problems with real hardware. So let's say you've got a pool system and you've got a thermometer, a thermostat, and a pool heater, and then obviously the pool itself. So you actually want to hook all this stuff up and you want to start to get it working together. So if the temperature drops below a certain desired temperature, the pool heater is going to turn on. So we're going to write the code for that, and we're going to primarily use the if statement. So you're going to start to see that in action and how it would work. So let's start with the variables first though. So we've covered these. So we're going to say let pool temp equal, let's say 15 is what the temperature currently is, and let desired temp equal 20. So we've just made some variables. We've set default values to 15 and 20. And now we're going to do the if statement. So the if statement is going to look like this. We're going to have the word if, we're going to have smooth brackets, and then we're going to have curly brackets. So there's three things going on here. The if is just telling the computer that we're about to do an if statement. The smooth brackets is actually asking for true or false. So inside of these, it's always either going to be true or false. And then depending on whether this is true or false, we're either going to run or not run the stuff inside the brackets. So let's put something inside the brackets. We've done console log, so I'm just going to put turn on the heater. And this could be anything, but we're just going to print out a message. Right, so we're saying if false, and since false is not true, we're not going to do this. So if you actually press play, even though we've written this code, it's not going to run. Now what if we wrote true? So we said if true, do this, right? So now it is going to run. So it's very simple. If true, do the thing. If false, don't do the thing, right? That's all you're doing. But you're usually not going to see it spaced like this, especially if you start to add more code. You would have to put it all on one line, and that would start to look really messy. So we're going to do some indentation. Again, the computer doesn't really care, right? It's going to run either way. This is just for us so that we can read it a lot easier. So we're going to put the curly bracket down there, and this one down here. And I'm going to want to put that there, and I'm going to want to indent it. So indentation is very important. So you want to have an indent on all the stuff here. So let's say I added more. It's just going to be like that. And you'll see why that's important later. We're going to start putting if statements inside of if statements, and it'll get really messy if you don't do that properly. So we've got a couple different lines of code. It's all spaced out good. And yeah, sometimes you will see some people do it like that, or you can go like that. That's just a style choice. You'll see both ways. So we've got a basic if statement. If true, do this. If false, don't do that. But that's not really useful, right? Because true is always true, false is always false. So we're going to actually put a more complicated argument in here. So here's where we're going to start to use like less than, greater than, those type of symbols. So I'm going to say if 1 is less than, actually let's do 15 less than 20. So I've taken my pool temperature, I've taken the desired temp, I've said if 15 is less than 20, turn on the heater. So that's actually what we want, right? If the pool temperature is colder than 20, we want to turn on the heater and get some heat going. So this is going to run pretty good. If we do that, we are going to get another turn on the heater. Now the problem with this is it's fixed, right? 15 and 20 are never going to change. But these are variables. So if I went up here, let's say it got a little warmer, and let's say we changed the thermostat to 22, this if statement isn't going to reflect that, right? So it's actually good to put variables wherever you can. So I'm going to put pool temp is less than desired temp. There. So these are two numbers, and we're just seeing if they're less than each other. So is the pool temperature less than the desired temperature? If it is, turn on the heater. So now we can just freely change these, and that if statement is going to work, right? I can put whatever values in I want in there, and this is always going to work the same. Now there's more that you can check than just less than, but this is what we want for our example. So I'm just going to go over the different things that you can use inside of these smooth brackets. So we also have equals equals. equals equals. So let's say we want the pool temperature 16, and it is currently 16. So 16 equals 16. So this is going to run, right? So this is going to end up actually, it's going to almost go like this, right? Even though it's not going to write the word true, you can think of this as being true because 16 equals 16. But let's say I switch that to 18. Well, now 16 does not equal 18. So this is going to be false. But again, you can never actually write that out. It's just a way of thinking about it, right? So we've got the equals sign and we've got not equals. So this one's a bit more confusing. It's actually a double negative. So let's say we have the temperatures, let's go with 20 and 19. So, and we're going to put our not equals there. So now we've got the question, is 19 not equal to 20? Right? Well, that's actually true. So 19 is not equal to 20, so we're going to turn on the heater. So what is equal to 20? 20 is equal to 20, right? So now this is not going to run. So you got to just think of it that it's kind of a double negative, and it's really useful for different things. But right now we're going to stick to our less than, which is what we want now. So we got less than, and we also have greater than. So we could switch that over to greater than. But let's say we wanted to include the number, right? So if we have there, then switch that to there. So right now the pool temperature is 19.9999. So it's a very, very accurate thermometer. That is still technically less than 20, right? But the second we get to 20, 20 is no longer less than 20, right? So if you wanted to include the number 20, you just have to add an equals. So that's basically saying all the numbers below and up to and including 20. So that is less than equal to. And we also have greater than equal to. So we could switch that here. Same idea. So let's say, so if the pool temperature is greater than or equal to, so let's say right now this is true. So 20 is either equal or greater, but let's say we had 23 and that's also going to be okay. So 23 is greater than that and it could also be equal. So just playing around with those, they're just normal math, right? Less than equals. And then if you have greater or less than with the equal sign, it's just also including the number that you're checking against. So that's all that's happening here. And that's pretty much if statements. But you can actually imagine what this would look like with the real world hardware, right? So let's say we actually had a pool temperature. What we could do, a pool heater, is we could do heater.turn on. So even when you don't have the things, you can already start to write the code. Then once you got that heater, you could just stick the line of code in here that would turn it on. So that's pretty cool. So the temperatures are going to update. And then based on the temperature, so we wanted temperatures less than desired. So let's put this down here. So you can actually run through it. You could say the temperature is currently 18 according to the thermometer. The desired temperature is 20 according to our thermostat. If the pool temperature, 18, is less than the desired temperature, 20, heater.turn on. Right, so here we have a fully functioning program with variables and just a simple if statement. So we'll just leave it there for now. A really good way is just to practice, right? Put in different variables, different numbers, and try these different symbols. See what happens, see what works, and just press play, see if your message gets displayed or not. So we're just going to do that for now, and I'll see you in the next video.